The national budget for financial year 2024-2025 is ambitious. It's up to the tune of 72 trillion. It's actually has increased from last financial year's budget, which was around 52 trillion. When we look at where the money is going to come from, 45% of this financial year's budget will come from tax revenue and non-tax revenue. And when we look at a huge part of the budget, which is up to the tune of 46.7, will go to debt servicing. It means just like over the last financial years, debt servicing is also taking a lion's share of the budget. And so the money that is going into the actual sectors that are closer to the people, the productive sectors, is still less of what we've been advocating for. But we also would like to point out that when we look at productive sectors like agro-industrialization has agriculture and manufacturing. It will, according to the budget estimates, it will get 1.6 trillion. That's actually a reduction from last financial year's budget, where agro-industrialization was 1.8 trillion. But also taking the approach that the Permanent Secretary and Secretary to the Treasury has presented of ATMS, looking at agro-industrialization, tourism, mineral-based development, and also science and technology. It is good of government to look at priorities, because we've been over the years calling upon government to focus on some priorities, focus on productive sectors. And the ATMS, we hope that it will yield to what government is anticipating. But also, if I'm to speak to the agro-industrialization, tourism, and mineral-based development, and science and technology. Agro-industrialization is core. Agriculture has always been the backbone of Uganda. And agro-industrialization, the new program-based budgeting, agro-industrialization combines agriculture and manufacturing. The issue of agro-industrialization is important, value addition is important, but we haven't given it a lot of prominence. And over the years, Seatini has been advocating for government to increase investment in initiatives that can contribute to value addition and also boost agro-industrialization. These include investing in common user facilities, because common user facilities are closer to production centers. They're in rural areas, and we believe that if government invests more in common user facilities, there can be adherence to quality, because our production is challenged by limited compliance to requisite standards. Even in the domestic market, we are not fully complying to requisite standards. And I cannot talk about standards if I'm not talking about Uganda National Bureau of Standards. It has, over the years, decried the limited budgetary allocation to enable UNBS have a presence at all border points, but also to commend government for the issue of regional hubs, regional laboratories that have been established in a number of regions. But we also would suggest to government that it would be good to scale up the regional laboratories in other centers so that all regions are fully covered, to enable standards compliance, but also to enable producers to easily access services. And if I'm to talk about tourism, tourism has always been key, critical to Uganda's development, and it has a lot of potential. Indeed, CNN a few years back, talked about Uganda as one of the top tourist destinations. And we need to leverage on that, because if authoritative agencies like CNN can also be able to carry out independent research that confirms that Uganda is indeed a top tourist destination, so that means that investing in tourism will boost the economy most definitely. So there's need to have targeted investment in tourism. But we cannot talk about tourism alone. We need to connect tourism to trade. If you look at other countries, and Uganda, if I'm to specifically speak to Uganda, coffee is one of our flagship exports. And if we're to talk about tourism sector, how about if we connect coffee to tourism so that when we attract tourists, we sell a product along promoting tourism? we market the Uganda brand, the Uganda brand, and connect it to coffee. That will actually bring more returns. But I think efforts are still coming up. We appreciate that government is undertaking several efforts towards boosting the tourism sector, and we call upon government to do more, much more, and also connect the tourism sector to trade, so that we are not promoting tourism as an end in itself, but tourism is connected to trade, and we can trade our way out of poverty, but connecting it to tourism will actually enable us to get much more out of tourism. And if I'm to talk about mineral-based development, the PSST has singled out mineral-based development as part of ATMS. We appreciate that Uganda has huge deposits of minerals, and now the talk is about energy transition. We cannot talk about energy transition as suppliers of raw materials, but we want to talk about energy transition as adding value to our minerals, as a country that is keen on adding value to our minerals, because we've suffered a challenge over the years as Africa, not just Uganda, where we are integrated in the global economy as suppliers of raw materials. And Uganda is no exception. So as we talk about mineral-based development, developing artisanal miners, helping them to add value to minerals is also key. But also as a country, we need to invest more in industrialization so that we beneficiate from our minerals. And efforts and frameworks such as Africa Mining Vision, which is a good initiative by the African Union that was adopted in 2009, and countries that are under the African Union arrangement were meant to domesticate the same and also be able to review some of the policies at the domestic level, at the national level, to align with the Africa Mining Vision. But we see that we are yet to fully align our efforts with Africa Mining Vision, and thus the need to fast track that. But also the integration in the global economy, we must change the trend of being integrated as suppliers of raw materials. Let's add value to our minerals, and if we are to talk about industrialization, we cannot talk about industrialization if our policies are not fit for purpose. Let's make our Investment Code Act fit for purpose. Investment Code Act 2019. It has a number of glaring gaps. It lacks provisions on technology transfer and skills transfer. It has gaps on human rights impact assessment. It has gaps on environmental impact assessment, performance requirements, among others. As we attract foreign direct investments, let's be keen so that the investors deliver on their promises, so that we can also be able to achieve initiatives that work in favor of joint ventures, among others. One of the key issues that has come out is the score of 15% in regards to citizens' participation in the budget process. I think that is something that we need to address as a country, as Uganda, because citizens are yet to fully appreciate that the budget concerns them and they need to make their voices heard in the budget process. And as Seatini, we've been advocating and calling upon government to extend the period of consultations around the annual tax bills that feed into the budget process, which is 2 weeks. And that is not fully consultative, if I may say, because a number of stakeholders need to be brought on board so that the budget is fully consultative. But one good thing that I can actually point out is the fact that Seatini, among other civil society organizations, are part of the National Budget Month. It's our work to also raise awareness and also mobilize citizens to the end that they get to engage and make their voices heard in the budget process. But the issue of increasing or extending the time for consultations on the tax bills is critical beyond the 2 weeks, because we saw the traders rising up and contesting a number of issues. And that means if the period is extended, all those constituencies can be mobilized and fully engage and participate in shaping the budget, so that we own the budget and it becomes a tool that we can all associate with, that it's aligning with our aspirations and interests as a country and as citizens. Thank you.